Manta Cars was an American kit car company that was owned and operated by brothers Brad and Tim Lovett. It was located in Costa Mesa, California from 1974 to 1986. They did move their production and showroom facility to Santa Ana, California around 1980, but they stayed in the California area. Now, their first car was the Manta Mirage, a sort of a Can-Am sort of influenced car, not a precise replica of anything in particular, but with definite influences from the McLaren with the M6 and towards the rear perhaps the Lola T70. It proved very popular with gull-wing doors, and I think there was a convertible option as well. But it was a very popular car and a good start for the company with the option of a mid-engine chassis. However, great success would come with their next model, the Manta Montage. Now, this was initially a Beetle-based kit, but they did make a chassis using the GM X-Body V6 variants, and the Montage T was the convertible version of the car. It was basically a very good replica of the McLaren M6 GT, the single and sadly only, I think there was two actually built by Bruce McLaren as their first road car. Both cars were extremely light, and that made for very interesting performance once you fitted engines up to the Chevrolet V8, which some owners went on to do. It was a stunning car and very much a star in its own right, just from the visual appeal of the thing. But things were going to take a really big twist. Suddenly, one of the coolest kit cars became, for me, the coolest car on television when it was used and rebadged as the Coyote in the television series Hardcastle and McCormick, which I think ran for 2 or 3 seasons. The basis was that Hardcastle, pictured on the left, was a judge, and McCormick, on the right, was an ex-racing driver and getaway driver, and the judge got him out of jail and persuaded him with the use of a car that had been, let's say, appropriated after a drug dealer was arrested, to fight crime and to track down the people who had escaped him in the courtroom. But the real star of the show was the Coyote, which was, of course, the Manta Montage. Now, the production crew used the mid-engine chassis, it used a Chevy V8, and this was a television car, a supercar that you could build yourself. And a lot of owners decorated their cars as a Coyote, as you can see from the pictures. And what a cool looking car. I mean, it really was, for me. You know, Knight Rider, Pontiac, and not a particularly fast one at that. Here's a car that looked 200 miles an hour standing still. It was definitely the star of the show. Definitely dead cool. And we sat here watching the television series in the UK thinking how lucky you Americans are. Enter a UK company called UVA, Unique Vehicle and Accessories Company, run by marketing guru Alan Arnold. Now, what this company did very successfully was they went over to the States, they found Volkswagen-based, Beetle-based kits and brought them over here modified some of them for the UK market and sold them as kits over here under the UVA banner. And one of the cars they brought over was the Montage. And my God, even as a Beetle-based kit, that looked like a 200-mile-an-hour car. However, they didn't bring the Chevy chassis version. They decided to develop their own version of the car, make it mid-engined with a Rover V8 and a monocoque centre tub using composites with steel subframes front and rear. Development dragged on and on and on and took an awful lot of money out of the business. But Alan Arnold was determined that the car was going to be right, as were his crew. And they worked really hard on this model to make the kick form supercar that the looks of the car cried out to be. The long gestation didn't help. I don't know whether it put customers off, but it certainly made it very difficult to keep the excitement bubbling up for the car when it eventually did surface. When it did, oh my goodness, what a car. Unfortunately, the pop-up headlamps, the only thing I could really criticise, did look a little bit boxy and clunky. But here it is in all its glory, the M6 GTR, the UVA version of the Montage. And this is what breaks my heart. Only 12 kits were produced. They were expensive. That had a lot to do with it. And the Rover V8, even in 3.9 or 4.2 litre spec, made the car very, very quick, if not quite supercar quick. But what a glorious, glorious machine. I think it basically, the development sent the company to the wall. As a footnote, here is the real McLaren M6 GT. One of only 2 or 3 that were built. One of them was Bruce McLaren's own private road car. And my God, what a beautiful car it is. I think this dates from 1967. So advanced for its age. Again, I think it used a Chevy V8. Oh my God, what could have been. Thank you for watching what I think is a video on one of the most interesting American kit car marques, and definitely a car with true star quality. Television star. I love the actors, but let's be honest, we all watched it for that car and the car chases. The Manta Montage definitely was a star, and the UVA M6 GTR, so near and so far. If you like original designs, kit cars and low volume cars, stick around, because in upcoming videos you can see all of these. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up and click that bell.